My name is Viorel Verka. I am the author of the book Empathic Exit Physician-Assisted Suicide. My book is about the most important event in our life, that is about our death. About where, when and how we die. It is about how we lost our right to die peacefully and how we are abused when we can no longer fight back. Only cruel societies abuse the weak and the innocent, yet we never believe that we are that society. Because when we look over the fence at our neighbors, friends, enemies, we believe that we are better, that we are the best. Well, are we? Why this title, you might ask? What does it mean? What is that I try to accomplish in here? Well, first, empathic exit is a tool to achieve an end. It is a set of actions that should lead to a peaceful death without the interference of others. Physician-assisted suicide is a part of that, but it's not the only part. The short answer is that we can no longer decide the most important events in our life. Governmental institutions are increasingly acquiring rights that should belong to us, to individuals. Religious institutions are fighting over our morality and use the force to either convert us or kill us. Financial institutions take our money, and the healthcare institutions abuse us until we die. The word institution is the scariest of all the words. It is clear now that our bodies and souls are a battlefield where all these entities are fighting to rip us apart. And they do that when we are the most vulnerable, when we can no longer fight back, and when we are ill, suffering, and dying. Empathic exit is about these realities of life, about the things that we do not like to talk about when we're healthy and happy. That is about death. The death of our loved ones and of our own. But we should talk about that. We should be prepared for what is coming, because that reality is a nightmare. When we die, we become prisoners of institutions. And the truth is that only few people ever die in peace of old age, surrounded with love and empathy. The rest of us are not that lucky. Most people we know die in hospitals, in nursing homes, of diseases, in great pain, miserable, alone, and forgotten. Imagine yourself in a bed and dying. Well, most likely this is how that is going to happen. You are 72 years old, in a bed, in an institution. You have about 10 diseases, and there is no cure for at least 2 of them. Most likely there is cancer, heart disease, even some mental diseases such as dementia and Alzheimer's. Your drugs no longer help. You are in great pain, and you are in a room with few other people just like you. You are cold, thirsty, and hungry, in pain and dying. You are now forcibly treated with painkillers that no longer alleviate your pain. You are placed on a respirator and have a tracheostomy. You are fed by tubes connected to a leaking urinary catheter, perhaps have an artificial anus in your belly. You are on various pumps with food and antibiotics, intravenous solutions. You are restrained. You are being abused by insensitive staff, poked with needles 10 times a day, when you're awake and when you're asleep. You cannot speak and you cannot move. You cry inside, but nobody hears. You talk to God. God does not answer. You're wet and dirty. You're smelling bad. Perhaps have few bad sores that eat your skin and flesh to the bones. You're being turned on the side every so often by 2 huge 300-pound gorillas who almost break your bones every time while changing your wet and dirty diaper. And then you hear them telling insulting jokes and calling you names. They push you in every direction like a pile of old drugs. And there is nothing you can do, because you are a prisoner in the system that you invented. So you suffer the result of your work. You're naked, you're covered with a cloth that covers almost nothing, and while they clean your body as if it was a turnip, you wonder what happened. How did you get there? Your hands are tied to the bed, and you can no longer reach for the icy cold water left on your nightstand. The thirst is unbearable. The hunger erodes your last atoms of energy. You feel your life is slowly seeping out of your body. So they feed you with 2 spoons of soup, 2 spoons of jelly, and while all of it is in your dry mouth and at the same time you cannot swallow it, you choke and spit, and your caregivers quickly and roughly wipe your mouth with some cloth or paper tissue that feels like sandpaper. You can hear them say how disgusted they are by what they see, how they hate their jobs, their miserable salaries, and you for being there, wondering when will you finally die. They write on the paper by your bedside that you are resisted feeding, that you no longer wish to eat or drink, and leave. There is no one to visit you, no one to hold your hand, no one to love you, no one to care. And the same thing goes over for days and weeks and months and who knows, perhaps years. You wish you were dead. But death does not come. Because you're not allowed to die. Because the rest of us condemn you to suffer. Because you told us to do so. If you're lucky, you may fall in a coma. And then we will assume that you no longer care. Then we no longer care. Your pain and misery perhaps ended, but there is no way for us to know that because now you cannot tell us. So we will stop giving you pain medicine. And if you suffer, well, tough luck. Finally, we don't have to feed you or clean you that often. We place all kind of wires on you. We attach you to an automatic feeder. We attach you to many monitors that buzz quietly and light by your bedside like a Christmas tree. And when your heart stops, we will give you electric shocks many times. We will bring you back from the death and we will wait for you to die again. And you will. And then we'll give you more electric shocks and bring you back again. And we will do that as many times as we like and can. Because the law says that we can. And the doctors say that we should. And the religious say that we must. And your God, if you ever believed in one, is quietly observing your suffering while doing nothing. And you wonder, is this the hell or is this just the beginning, like the grand entrance and the front door? And you cannot say no to whatever we do to you because there are laws that say you cannot just die, you have to suffer first. And that is the church and the court and all other institutions, and they all say the human must suffer. So we do not care about you. We care about the law because you voted for it. In fact, not only that you voted for it, but you invented it. It is your creation and you thought that it was good and moral and ethical. And when we can no longer make you suffer because now you're really, really dead, then we're done with you. Not completely, because now we go after your hard-earned life assets and we will spend all your money to treat you to death. We will sell your house and empty your bank accounts and spend your last dime. And if you did not buy a tombstone before we got to you, well, too bad. And when you die, we will burn your carcass and keep your remnants in a vase, not because you're a flower, but because it is cheaper. We'll keep it there for a while. But we want more. We now want to be able to sue your children for the balance, to bankrupt their families and to waste their children and their children's children's future. And we will impoverish this nation and then the next one and the next one until nothing is left. And all of that just to keep you alive by force and kill you slowly. Well, we know that you were already half dead when we got our hands on you for the first time. And we knew that no matter what we do, you will die anyway. But we do not care how you die. We only care that you do not die the way you want. Because while you were healthy and happy, you did not care about those who died that kind of death. And you said yourself that it is immoral to let someone die. You said that it was unethical to remove the tubes and the respirator. And you said that we should not help you die by giving you drugs that would put an end to the misery that you now endure. You said that only God has the right over human lives and deaths. And then you changed your mind and you asked us to keep you alive no matter what. And later you wanted us to let you die. And when that did not work, you wanted us to help you die. So what should we do? Why can't you just decide and tell us what is that you want us to do? So we listen to you and to your God. But when your God called you, you again changed your mind. Now you wanted to leave, and you sued us and argued in court that we should use all the available means to keep you and everyone else alive as long as possible, no matter how much it costs and no matter how much it hurts. So now we're doing what you ask us to do, so please do not complain. Well, let's take a moment and reflect on what was said in here. And the truth is, such cruel death is becoming increasingly likely for all of us, and we should not allow this to happen. This torture should not continue. We must draw a line here and now and be in charge of our lives and of our deaths. We must change this wrongness and clean the mess that we made. Why can't just we agree to disagree but grant each other the same rights and freedom and liberties that we wish for ourselves? We fight the tyranny of others just to become tyrants ourselves. And then we like it. Because we believe that our tyranny is different, is just, moral, ethical, serves God, serves society, and we should all endure this misery that we put ourselves through with joy. But in the end, just before we die forever, we no longer care about society, ethics, and morality, because we know what is best for us, and we want it. We want a dignifying end, a painless and a quick death, and we should have that right, because that is a natural right. We have the right to choose how to live. We should have the right to choose how to die, free of the interference of others. And that is what empathic exit is about. I spent 2 years to research and write this book that addresses many issues and concepts and myths and lies and talks about laws and doctrines, and to clarify once and for all that our death belongs to us. If God gave us each free will, then we shall use it as we see fit and answer for our choices when the time comes. Thank you for listening. Your author, Viorel